This is Big Island Video News Daily Update for Monday, July 16th, 2012. I'm Stephanie Salazar. The Moku'o Hawaii Outrigger Canoe Racing Association season wrapped up this weekend with the Anti-Maile Mauhili Championships at Hilo Bay. For the sixth year in a row, Kona's Kai Opua took the Division A championship. The club has a lot of depth, and on Saturday they entered all 43 events en route to earning 224 points. Second place, the team that has most closely challenged Kai Opua this year, Keoho Canoe Club, which tallied 186 points in the 34 events they participated in. Third, Puna Canoe Club with 171 points, Keokaha in fourth with 152, Kauai High had 126, and Kamehameha had 102. Division B went to Kai Ehitu, which earned 109 points in just 20 events, followed by the Paddlers of Laka with 55 points. Hui Wa'ao Waiakea was atop the C Division with 43 points. The Hawaii Canoe Racing Association State Regatta Championships will be held on Saturday, August 4th at Kihei Lagoon on Oahu. Roller derby came to the legendary Edith Kanakaʻoli Stadium this weekend as teams from around the Aloha State converged on Hilo for a Battle of the Islands. The all-day tournament began at 11 a.m. and the finals were set to start at 7 p.m. Taking part in the action, Hawaii Island's own Paradise Roller Girls Honey Badgers, Kona's Echo City Knockouts, seen here, Pacific Roller Derby Hooligans from Oahu, the Maui Roller Girls, the Maui Auies, the Garden Isle Renegade Rollers, and the B Team, a mixed team from all islands. On Saturday, the Maui Roller Girls took home the A-Team Championship. They downed Pacific Roller Derby 119-69 in the final. The Garden Island Renegade Rollers defeated the B Team 98-24 for the B Team Championship. The Battle of the Islands is a twice-annual tournament that rotates among the islands. The idea of Battle of the Islands started in an email discussion between Paradise Roller Girls, Maui Roller Girls, and the Garden Island Renegade Rollers and Pacific Roller Derby. The expense for teams to purchase airfare and lodging makes it difficult to travel to each of the other islands to compete. Battle of the Islands allows all the leagues to come together in one city and bout against all the islands. The next Battle of the Islands will be hosted by Pacific Roller Derby on Oahu at the end of September. It has been a deadly few days on Hawaii Island roadways, 3 deaths in as many days, all on the west side of the island. On Thursday, a 52-year-old Kailua Kona man died when riding his bicycle on the Akonipuli Highway after he was struck by a 2003 Nissan Frontier pickup truck being driven in the same direction by a 16-year-old girl from Hawaii. The bicyclist was identified as Jesse Taylor, a well-known marathon runner and bicyclist in Kona. The crash happened on the highway between Old Coast Guard Road and Kokoiki Road, and police say the girl apparently fell asleep, drifted off the right side of the highway, and hit Taylor while he was on the shoulder. The driver of the truck and her mother, a 45-year-old Hawaii woman, were not injured. Traffic Enforcement Unit officers have initiated a negligent homicide investigation and ordered an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. Also on Thursday afternoon, a 3-vehicle crash on Queen Kahumanu Highway near Kiholo left a 38-year-old Waimea man dead. Christopher M. Landers was driving his Ford Ranger pickup truck north on the state highway when a 2000 Ford F-350 pickup truck, going in the opposite direction, blew a tire and lost control, colliding with Landers' vehicle. Landers was taken to Kona Community Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The driver of the truck with the blown tire was taken to North Hawaii Community Hospital, where he was treated and released with minor injuries. Passengers in another car that was sideswiped, 4 women from Austin, Texas, were not injured. Traffic Enforcement Unit officers initiated a negligent homicide investigation and ordered an autopsy on Landers to determine the exact cause of death. Finally, on Friday evening, a truck versus motorcycle collision at the intersection of Highway 11 and Kalamalani Place in Captain Cook killed one person and injured another, according to Hawaii County fire officials. When rescue crews arrived on the scene shortly after 9:15 p.m., they found the rider of the motorcycle lying in the middle of the highway with no signs of life. The truck was found 50 feet off the highway in a private yard, where the driver was found pinned in the front cab area of the truck. The driver had to be extricated from the truck by rescue crews before being taken to the Kona Community Hospital. The crash closed Highway 11 and forced motorists to reroute, using Ke'ie Road and Napo'opo'o Road as an alternate route, according to county emergency alerts. The new parking lot at Hilo's Gilbert Carvalho Park will be closed temporarily starting today, that's Monday, July 16th, so a Department of Parks and Recreation crew can pave the driveway entrance. The county says the in-house paving work is estimated to last 1 week, weather permitting. That will provide time for the new asphalt to cure and the fresh striping to dry. The parking lot will be reopened once the work is finished. Stalls near the park's gym will remain available for public use during the construction phase. The park recently underwent an $890,000 upgrade, completing a new two-tiered gravel parking lot as well as this footbridge over a running stream. The project includes remodeling of the gymnasium restrooms, new paved walking paths meeting federal accessibility standards, and installation of new bleachers. The disproportionate number of Native Hawaiians who are in prisons in Hawaii and the U.S. mainland gave rise to passionate voices in Hilo on Saturday.
Show aloha for this crime and these criminals. And I say no! Send them on their way.
Anger, tears, and prayer, a wide range of responses from a community that, 2 years later, remains disturbed by an Office of Hawaiian Affairs report issued in 2010 entitled The Disparate Treatment of Native Hawaiians in the Criminal Justice System. That's why the 2012 Native Hawaiian Justice Task Force was on the Big Island. The team is holding a series of meetings aimed at identifying and supporting comprehensive solutions to this nagging issue.
The goal of our task force is to prepare a report to be submitted to the 2013 State of Hawaii Legislature and the Governor. Part of that report mandates us to do research and to elicit community feedback from the Native Hawaiian community. So the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, we sponsored a number of community meetings on each island, 2 on Hawaii Island, 1 in Kona, 1 in Hilo, and then we'll be going to Maui next, Kauai, and then Molokai.
The meetings followed a 2-day summit in June at the Hawaii State Capitol in Honolulu.
What we need to see is at multiple levels in many communities, a continuum of services. So a continuum of services within the correctional facility as they transition, and then much more supportive services or programs that sustain them a long time for many years. So employment, some may need family counseling.
According to the document, Native Hawaiians make up 24% of the general population of Hawaii, but 27% of all arrests, 33% of people in pretrial detention, 29% of people sentenced to probation, 36% admitted to prison in 2009, 39% of the incarcerated population, 39% of releases on parole, and 41% of parole revocations. The numbers are more than statistics for those who testified on Saturday.
But I do ask you to do your fiduciary duties by listening to each and every one of us who have come up here. I've been back there crying, heartfelt feelings.
And after coming back out, it's hard for people to get jobs once you are labeled as a convict, ex-con. there was no jobs for these people.
Another disturbing finding in the report, Native Hawaiians make up the highest percentage of people incarcerated in out-of-state facilities. The report says that in 2005, of the 6,092 people who were under the custody of Hawaii's Department of Public Safety, which includes people in jails, 29%, or 1,780, were in facilities operated by other states or private companies on behalf of states. Of the people in out-of-state facilities, 41% are Native Hawaiians.
We are actually strangers up there.
What about the women? What about the families? The ones that are incarcerated in the mainland? They're poor. Most of our people are poor. Those phone calls are expensive. The only reason I was able to receive calls, collect calls from him, is because the organization that he's with paid for it. But what about all of the people? You know, it cuts off us from our families, our ohana. Bring them home. They belong home, so we can visit with them, so we can let them know who they really are, and not just a label.
It's quite obvious and a large voice from the Hawaiian communities to return Native Hawaiians from the continental U.S. who are currently incarcerated in facilities on the mainland, to bring them home. That certainly, I can say, will be one of the recommendations as part of our report. I think we should take a look at, some time frames when that can happen. But we also need to develop a plan here in Hawaii so that we can properly accommodate them.
Public Defender's Office convinced a young Hawaiian man with a drug problem to take a plea agreement to serve 10 years in America. Send him to America. That's a crime against the human race. That's human trafficking. And that's what the public defender, and they do it every single day. I see this happening all the time.
Things got especially passionate when Hilo resident Tom Anthony, an advocate for the Hawaiian Kingdom, lashed out at Task Force Chair Michael Broderick, demonstrating the rift between the authorities and the people when it comes to the justice system.
Bring all our people home, now. Put them in programs if they're there. 32%. Are you telling me there's been a suggestion here that the system doesn't work? I say no, the system works perfectly. It serves his interests. It works for the Japanese. 48% of the problem. But their community has no drug problem. And when they go to the system, they get served properly. The system works. It works for them. It was designed to do exactly what it's doing now. And that's the problem. And you come to us and you tell us you're going to fix it? You offend my intelligence in spite of its littleness.
But some came with solutions. Sam Kaleleiki has been pushing for a pu'uhonua at the former Kulani prison for years, and he has had success this year at the state legislature. The governor signed Bill 2848 into law in June. Uncle Sam was happy with the news a few weeks ago during this benefit for his organization, Ohana Ho'opakele, at Maku'u Farmers Market in Puna, but he remains skeptical.
I know we're going to be disappointed because they're full of tricks. In that bill, they somehow shoved it under the coverage of words and things like this. They're still going to build a prison. And we don't want a prison. We don't want any fence. We don't want any walls. We don't want nothing that restricts. All we want is a pu'uhonua, And I'm surprised that we got this far.
Could the pu'uhonua work? After all, the 2010 report found that culturally inappropriate or unavailable reentry services are not as effective for helping Native Hawaiians achieve successful life outcomes and stay out of prison.
That has been talked about quite a bit in the Native Hawaiian community, and I think there's a larger voice and support for a pu'uhonua, an actual formal pu'uhonua, as part of the correctional system. And right now, there's many different models of what that would look like, but certainly it would incorporate more traditional rituals and customs that I think are not only appropriate, but I think for Native Hawaiians culturally, they'll be more comfortable with. So with the growing support, we can probably institutionalize it and be part of not only our recommendation, but for future consideration as a legitimate program.
The 32nd Annual Cultural Festival was held in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park on Saturday. Thousands enjoyed a free day at the park here on the scenic grounds of the Kahuahula at Kauea, near the Volcano Art Center. The park's traditional hula platform overlooks Pele at the active Halima'omao crater vent, and the crisp volcano weather was at its best for the festivities. This year, the cultural festival promoted the importance and understanding of hula kahiko, traditional arts and crafts, and contemporary Hawaiian music. Here we see Halau Ha'akea o Akala under the direction of Kumuhula Paul Neves, performing for an enthralled audience seated around the Kahuahula. The festival's theme this year was A'ohe Pau Ka'ike Ikahalau Ho'okahi, a favorite saying of many of the island, which means not all knowledge is learned in one school. And there was certainly plenty of knowledge on display at this event. Lauhala weaving, lei making, even la'au lapa'au demonstrations. There was plenty to learn at this festival. The National Park Service says this event honors, preserves, and perpetuates Hawaiian culture and supports Hawaiian programs, practitioners, halau, and musicians.